So this is the second part in a 2-video series where I'm covering just all these incredible things that athletes get simply by being on college athletic teams these days. And, look, as a former 20-year head coach, I watched this in real time. And look, whether you are on athletic scholarship or just in a walk-on capacity, just being on the team, it is amazing just what is available to the athletes these days. It's absolutely incredible. And look, if you haven't watched that first video in this series, it's in this list, so make sure go back and look at that too. But anyway, let's get on with it. This is number 6. Bullet point number 6, elite training opportunities. Now, don't even get me started here. So what we're talking about are the continued training opportunities for kids once they hit the college ranks. And so, right now, if you got a high school kid, they're sleeping in the house, they're going to practice, you may be paying money for them to be at a gym, you may be paying for them to have training. Look, when they get to college, everything you can possibly imagine, they're getting. And so, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper with this one, but yeah, you're going to have professional coaches who are helping them at every turn. They're going to have daily practices. They're going to have equipment. They're going to have access to typically state-of-the-art weight rooms. As we've already touched on, they're going to have academic assistants, but they're going to be playing and practicing usually in just these amazing, really, really great facilities, like way better than what the kids have in high schools. And then you start getting into the cost. So let's look at a tournament or an event that you all may go to right now. Yeah, there's costs involved. If you have to go on the road and you got to spend the night in a hotel overnight, you're going to have meals. Maybe you're paying a coach. Maybe you're paying for jerseys, or you're paying for specific equipment. And so you don't bear those costs. When the kids go off to college, the colleges are going to assume those for their athletes. And so I took a trip to Russia once and I recruited an athlete over there. And I got there was this one player, she was amazing. She's like one of the better tennis players I had ever seen in my life. And I remember going to the father and wanting to talk to him, and it's a lot. I'm gonna try and talk to the dad about, would you consider sending your daughter literally across the world to come and play for us? And he actually had done a lot of homework. He already understood the situation, and he had done a little bit of research on our school, and it really wasn't a hard sell. He didn't even blink. He said, absolutely. He's like, and so what he was looking at in his country, they didn't have the system that we have here in the U.S. When you finished high school, you either played professionally or you went to university. You couldn't do both of them. And then furthermore, he was looking at the cost of the scholarship. You're talking, $20,000 a year out of state. He was looking at the cost of rackets, of strings, of hitting partners, of hotel costs, of meals, of entry fees, and on and on and on for 25 competitions throughout a year. It's a significant chunk of change. And so this guy had really done his homework, and he wasn't even blinking. And he said, yes, if there's an opportunity, she has to take it. And honestly, I'm a big fan, whether it's in NCAA Division I, Division II, Division III, the NAIA, or the junior colleges. It is unbelievable. So whatever you have going on in your home right now, I assure you, when your kids get off to college, it's being taken to a completely different level in terms of their development as athletes. It's amazing. Bullet point number 7. Now, this is one of my absolute favorite on the list, healthy living. And I personally don't think you can even put a price on this one. So think about it. An athlete goes through college for 4 years, and every single day they're going to practice, and so they're getting incredible physical exercise. Think about those of us that have jobs, and it takes a lot of work to go to a gym at night aside from our job and just get a daily workout in. And there are days where we just don't do it. Well, when you're in college, that's happening every single day. And these coaches these days in the colleges take it really seriously. And so a lot of times you have workshops off to the left that sometimes happen on a monthly basis where kids on teams are learning a lot about the body. They're going into weight rooms. They're really learning proper form when it comes to weights. When it comes to diet and food, oh my gosh, the universities that I was at, they had specific training tables for all the athletes. You always think it's just football or basketball. That's not the case. It's actually healthy to eat extremely healthy pizza. And so kids actually learn a lot just by going through it and doing. And so they learn a lot about healthy fats and healthy carbs and sugars and what all this stuff. One of the things I used to hear all the time, food is a drug, use it wisely. And so when our kids get out of school after 4 years of of this, they really have a good understanding about a healthy lifestyle. And so, like I said, I don't even think I can put a price tag on what that one is long after kids are finished with college and they go out into the world and they just really understand on a deep level, good exercise practices, good dietary practices, good mental practices. It just goes on and on and on. And so, when you start looking at healthy living, there's an entire network that's built for these kids when they're in college. It's just, like I said, priceless. Bullet point number 8, medical care and medical insurance. It is remarkable the training facilities that most universities have for their athletes, and there's a couple of levels to that. So when you go into a training facility like a weight room, a lot of universities use their weight room for injury prevention, and they're doing a really good job of educating their kids on how to lift properly and the importance from a muscle standpoint so that they don't get injured in whatever their sport is. And then also, let's say we have those situations where someone throws out a shoulder, they blow an ACL or anything along those lines. Schools have state-of-the-art training facilities like medical facilities for rehabbing those kids and getting them back on the field of competition. And most universities are locked in with local hospitals and tied in with the doctors. And so it's really incredible. Look, most sports at some point or another, injuries are going to happen. But should something along those lines happen, universities and the NCAA and the governing bodies, they fall all over themselves to help. And so yes, there is medical insurance for things like that. And the professionals that these kids are working with, that I used to work with, it's like doctors. These people really know their stuff, and it's the trainers, I can't say enough good things about them. Bullet point number 9, exposure and experiences. Student athletes have the opportunity to travel across the U.S. and many sometimes get to take foreign tours, and so they get incredible experiences that your regular student body just doesn't get. They're going to travel to conference schools. They're going to get the experience of taking road trips, staying in hotels, and you learn a lot through that. One of the things that the NCAA says all the time, and I fully agree with it, is that they do a really good job preparing kids to go professional. Whether that's going professional in their sport or going professional in chosen careers that they go into later. But yes, just the experience of being a student athlete, kind of having an ID at your particular university during your college years is, again, it's one of those things. It's a really great thing that kids get. And so there's incredible experiences that college athletes have, and there's also incredible exposure that they get. And finally, bullet point number 10, connections and contacts. The business world often focuses on creating a team environment in their work settings. And so former college athletes often walk into interviews with a leg up, and really smart employers understand that, these kids often are bringing leadership, they're bringing time management skills, and they're bringing an understanding of how to work together in a team setting towards a common goal. And so businesses strive to hire former college athletes because they understand they're typically getting really, really good employees. And then also from a contact standpoint, I can tell you, I saw this all the time with my teams, is we had a lot of people that followed our team. They were big fans of them, and many of them were business owners. And so a perfect example, I've got a kid on my team, and that kid is studying advertising. And over here, I've got somebody who owns an advertising firm, and they're coming to watch these matches on a regular basis, and they're reading the bios of the kids, and so-and-so is an advertising major. And so later, there's a connection. I've seen situations where that individual is dying to hire this kid because they've made a relationship. So connections occur and contacts occur. And again, once kids go out into the work world, it's an amazing thing to have on a resume. It's just a fact. Businesses gobble up former college athletes. So if all of this appeals to you, right about now you might be thinking, it sounds great. What do I need to do? The first thing that you want to do is you want to educate yourself, what do you need to be doing? And look, I have personally put together a completely free walkthrough that walks you through everything you need to be doing from your freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year, all the way through high school. These are all of your best practices. And so if you would like like that, it is one of those things that will absolutely help you and probably point you in directions that you probably aren't going to come to on your own. And so at the bottom of this video, there's a link. All you got to do is click that link, and then I'll email the thing to you, and then you'll have it. And so it's a great walkthrough. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you've gotten some value out of this discussion. That's always my goal. And look, always want to wish you the absolute best of luck with everything you're doing. You know, your grades, your sport, how hard you're working, your goals, all of it. And look, we'll see you in our next discussion on college athletics and college athletic scholarships, which is really all I cover with this channel. Anyway, until then, take care, and we'll talk soon.